This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The government requests the opposition to provide their support for an all-party government. The government will mediate to purchase potatoes and big onions if the prices decline. Measures will be taken to develop the railway service efficiently. The bus fares will be further reduced. The Labour Minister pledges to safeguard the labour rights. In foreign news, IAEA chief calls for mission to Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. News in detail. The parliamentary adjourning debate on the policy statement on the government submitted by the President Ranil Wickremesinghe is being held in the Parliament for the third day. Minister Douglas Devananda said that they have placed their confidence on the President's action at this challenging period faced by the country. The time has come to reach a common consensus to take the country forward and not being selfish. It's a favourable entrance to invite all to establish an all-party government, and the support of them will be given in this regard. Joining the debate, Minister Prasanna Rantunga said that a government that can fulfil the people's aspirations should be formed. He requested the opposition to join hands in this task. He said the Podujana Peramuna is dedicated to form an all-party government. After resolving the present crisis, an election can be conducted. Parliamentarian Harsha De Silva said in Parliament that establishing an inter-nation council is required to rescue the country from the present crisis. An extensive economic reform should be set up. He said he cannot agree with the existing program for an all-party government. Therefore, he pointed out that an all-party program should be prepared. The government says that they will mediate to purchase farmer products if the prices of local potatoes and big onions are reduced. It has been decided to provide a certified minimum price for it. Harvesting of local potatoes and big onions are being carried out. Minister Mahinda Amravira said that the government will not let any room to put the farmers into difficulty. It is the responsibility of the government to safeguard the farmer and the consumer. Minister Bandula Gunawardene says that measures will be taken to develop the railway service efficiently. He told the SLBC that the reality of the railway service has been revealed to the country. The resources which belong to the railway department has been abandoned without proper management. Kadruwela Fuel Storage Complex is experiencing the same fate. The railway compartments that were imported has not been used yet. He further said that speedy investigations will be conducted in this regard. Meanwhile, it has also been revealed that the number of buses which were imported 8 years ago had not been used for service. The minister has advised the relevant authorities to deploy them as school buses speedily. The Director General of the Transport Commission, Dr. Nilan Miranda, says that he believes that the bus fares should be further declined. Joining the Subharati program of the SLBC, he said there is a possibility to reduce the bus fares as there will be no further increase in fuel prices. The contribution of all sectors is essential to provide an efficient transport service to the people. He said that the bus operations should be regulated. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Online Corporate Banking. Imagine business anywhere.
Minister Manusha Nanayakkara says that action will be taken to safeguard the rights of labour and employees. He stated that it is essential to build a workforce for an productive economy in the country while safeguarding the industrial sector. Labour rules and regulations will be prepared in this regard. He reiterated that it is more important to take decisions through agreements with the relevant parties to increase the salaries of the estate workers. And that ends local news for now.
Imagine if you could maintain a firm hold of your operations from anywhere. People's Bank Online Corporate Banking. Imagine business anywhere.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In the main news story, the Chief Secretary of the Western Province says that steps have been taken to issue revenue license for vehicles in the Western Province on all working days of the week. Issuing a statement, Chief Secretary JMC Jayanthi Wijetunga said that the decision was taken as the fuel crisis in the country has now received somewhat of a relief. Accordingly, it is also informed that no fine will be charged for a vehicle revenue license in the Western Province expiring between the 29th of June until the 31st of this month.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
It has been reported that agricultural canals and dams in Rathgama, Balapitiya and Bentota Divisional Secretariat divisions is in a dilapidated condition. The farmers pointed out that this has been caused since they had not been repaired for a long period of time. This situation has obstructed to provide the water needed for cultivation activities. Therefore, the farmer communities have requested the relevant authorities to reconstruct these canals and dams soon. This is for the attention of the authorities in agri and irrigational sector of the southern province.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Moving on to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. IAEA chief calls for mission to Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. UN alarm as Ukraine nuclear power plant shelled again. Malaysia reports 4,831 new COVID-19 infections, 10 new deaths. World news in detail. The head of the International Atomic Agency has called for cooperation from Russia and Ukraine to allow its inspectors access to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine following a recent series of shelling there. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting yesterday to discuss a response to the attacks which have been reported since Friday of last week. IAEA Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi attended the meeting online and offered a briefing on the current situation at the Zaporizhzhia plant. He said part of the plant's power grid was damaged by the shellings and one of the 3 reactors that were operational has been suspended. More shelling of Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has been reported, with Ukraine and Russia again blaming each other for the attack. Each side said there were 10 hits on the office and fire station of Europe's biggest power plant yesterday. At a meeting of the UN Security Council called to discuss the situation, the head of its nuclear watchdog, Rafael Grossi, warning it was a grave hour. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres also said it could lead to disaster. China and the US both called for UN experts to be allowed to urgently visit the plant, but similar demands in the past have so far not been acted upon. Malaysia recorded 4,831 new COVID-19 infections as of yesterday, bringing the total tally to 4,724,225, according to its health ministry. Among the newly reported infections were 6 new imported cases and 4,825 local transmissions. Data released on the ministry's website showed. Another 10 deaths have been reported from the pandemic, taking the death toll to 36,066. Currently, there are 46,081 active cases recorded in Malaysia, with 60 of them held in intensive care and 40 in need of assisted breathing. Back to the headlines of the world news. IAEA chief calls for mission to Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. UN alarm as Ukraine nuclear power plant shelled again. Malaysia reports 4,831 new COVID-19 infections, 10 new deaths. And that was the world news. And moving on to a bulletin of development news. The gum at the road in Deyandra Hakmana has been developed at a cost of 30 million rupees after 20 years. Nearly 3,000 families in this area were benefited. The residents in the area stated that many problems were solved after developing and carpeting this road. The transportation facilities for tea and rubber were solved as it is the main livelihood of them. And that was Development News.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
A new program to develop women's cricket in schools will be implemented. The Sri Lanka Cricket Institute said that the objective of this move is to take forward the talented and skilled sports persons while identifying them from outstation areas. Chief Executive of the Institute, Ashley De Silva, said that facilities will also be provided to enhance women's cricket. And that is sports news. Up next is business news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
For the first time, Barnes PLC partnered with EVIS Colombo Limited, ECL, to produce and market locally assembled smartphones. These would be 4G enabled and would be available in the market this year. In addition, this partnership will also assemble smart UHD TVs from 32-inch to 55-inch and also engage in the assembly and manufacture of laptops.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In economic news, a program to expand home garden activities in the Badula district has begun. It will be implemented covering 15 divisional secretariat divisions. The district secretary, Damayanti Palanagama, said that action will be taken to expand the vegetable cultivation in the area.
Economic news. Courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And finally, in the weather report, the Met Department says that several spells of showers will occur in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle, Matra, Kandy and Nuwara districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Monragala and Ampara districts during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Fairly strong winds, about 40 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, northern and north central provinces, and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. That was the weather report, and to end this news broadcast, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The government requests the opposition to provide their support for an all-party government. The government will mediate to purchase potatoes and big onions if the prices decline. Measures will be taken to develop the railway service efficiently. The bus fares will be further reduced. Labour Minister pledges to safeguard the labour rights. In foreign news, IAEA chief calls for mission to Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Time has moved on to 1:29. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.